This is, oh my God, so bad. Oh my God, no.
The people are in such denial. They're not caring for themselves, their possessions, or their animals.
There wasn't an inch of that house that wasn't covered in animal waste.
These are the litter pans. And the cats were living in these little houses.
And I couldn't imagine that a person was living in those conditions.
These cats survived. But this video shot by animal control officers demonstrates the grim reality facing thousands of other pets who are suffering and dying because their owners can't stop collecting animals.
We've seen practically everything that you can look for, from dogs to cats to snakes to rabbits.
As many as hundreds of animals living in squalor in a single home. Their owners in denial about the unsanitary, cruel conditions.
It's a real safety issue, and we need to go ahead as quickly as possible and make the environment safe.
Their stories make headlines and lead the evening news in just about every community in America.
It is something called animal collecting or animal hoarding.
But psychologists now believe that hoarding is about much more than having too many pets.
We're beginning to realize this is more than a harmless eccentricity. It really is a mental illness.
Dr. Randall Lockwood of the Humane Society of the United States has studied this issue for more than 20 years. He estimates that at least 7,000 animal hoarding cases are investigated every year, situations that put both animals and people at risk.
In many of these situations, there's no working plumbing, no working toilets, no cooking facilities. There is feces and urine everywhere, and yet again they seem to be in denial and oblivious to that.
You'll get in there and you'll see the full gamut of animal suffering, human suffering, and it's just really, it's something that sticks with you.
Animal control officer Brian Glover has seen the horror and filth firsthand. He says often the problem lurks in the most unlikely places, like this sunny block in the D.C. suburb of Arlington, Virginia.
Here you go.
Beth Wood's family and their neighbors suffered for 2 years while a woman hoarded dozens of cats down the street. The stench tipped them off to the problem.
It was just absolutely incredible. It really was like living near an open cesspool. I mean, it was really hideous.
Wood and other homeowners filed complaints with the county. This is what Glover and his deputies discovered when they finally gained access to the house.
It was the strongest ammonia smell I've ever smelled in my life, and from the point you walked in the door, there was just, excrement everywhere, on counters, on tables, on the ground.
It took more than 12 hours to clear out the house. They found 36 cats inside, but the owner insisted there was no problem.
When we're in her house and we're moving cat after cat after cat, she's still saying she only had 7 cats.
Sometimes the person has obsessive compulsive disorder. Sometimes the person has schizophrenia. Oftentimes they're delusional and paranoid about the world at large.
Which is why Glover's team brought along mental health workers.
And they actually played a key part in the whole thing because they were able to keep her calm while we went into the house and searched for these animals.
Code enforcement and fire officials also lent a hand.
You can't do it by yourself. Not the way that it needs to be handled. You've got to have the support of other city agencies all working together. You have a plan, you put the plan in action, and it works.
But they face some tough odds in stopping a hoarder for the long term. Experts estimate that without intervention, 100% of hoarders will start again, even after they face legal action and the animals are taken away. That's why researchers at Tufts University Center for Animals and Public Policy say coordination and constant follow-up by public agencies is critical. The Humane Society of the United States agrees.
If you simply treat this as either just an animal cruelty case or just a public nuisance or just a public health issue or just a noise or odor abatement problem, that's not going to give you the appropriate solution. It is all those and more and needs the resources of all these agencies to respond appropriately.
It's how the city of Alexandria, Virginia tackles hoarding issues. Regular meetings at City Hall bring together a task force to share ideas about the latest cases.
You would need to have mental health involved, the community mental health system. You would need to have adult protective services, the social services system, the animal control agency. In Alexandria, we also include the city attorney's office.
For Brian Glover, the task force approach in his community has made his job a lot easier.
When you're dealing with hoarders, you have to prepare. I mean, it's something that you can't just go today on a complaint, look in there, see the problem, go in and be able to do it, and adequately provide for the animals and the human.
The outside looks very neat and clean.
At the meeting, city workers map out a plan of action before they intervene. They discuss housing options, whether the person needs a guardian or psychiatric care. The idea to make the cleanup, the rescue of animals, and dealings with the owners as compassionate and as smooth as possible.
It's got to be a team effort, and if you put the team together, it works.
Animals and people, two parties in desperate need of care in a hoarding case. And with a collaborative effort between animal control, mental health, and other public agencies, the chances increase dramatically that both sides will finally receive the help they need and deserve. For the Humane Society of the United States, I'm Heather Cabot.